Hi and welcome. This time I want to show you how to make an easy and simple but typical wavetable choir sound. So let's start with an initial patch. I'm going to use the same wavetable in oscillator 1 and oscillator 2, which is Wavetable 57. I'm going to lower the octave to 16 foot. I'm going to modulate this wavetable with LFO1. So let's change the initial position of the wavetable to 55 and the modulation amount to 33. The name of this oscillator is male voice, but it does not really sound like a male voice because the modulation is way too fast. We can already change LFO1 to the speed 8. And now this wavetable resembles a bit more a male choir. And we are going to change the balance to the middle position, which means that the signal of this oscillator goes equally to filter 1 and filter 2. This will be important in a second. But let's change oscillator 2 also to this wavetable. As I said, 57. Male voice. We're going to change the octave to 32 and the level to 100. Again, this oscillator should be in the middle position, and we are going to modulate this wavetable also with LFO1. So let's change the position to 53, something about 50-60. The exact number is not that important. And LFO1 is going to modulate this wavetable again with 33. And we can prepare the noise oscillator for later use. So let's go to the noise and let's change the balance again to the middle. And now let's talk about the filters. The perfect filter for a choir sound would be a formant filter, which means that you have a filter which is emphasizing two frequencies, the formant frequencies of your vowel. As you may know, every vowel, A, E, I, O, U, has two dominant frequencies, and you can change the frequencies by changing the room of your mouth. And a formant filter would imitate this behavior by emphasizing actually two frequencies. The normal formants which you can build with your mouth are more complex than this, but by using just two frequencies, it already resembles the vowels which you can create on your own. Unfortunately, the Blofeld does not have a true formant filter, but we can try to imitate this behavior by using the two filters which we have. We can set both filters to a bandpass type for the two frequencies. We can lead the sound into both filters equally and play a bit with the frequencies and emphasizing two different frequencies, the position of these frequencies and the distance between these frequencies in order to get something similar to a vowel. Let's try this. So I'm going to change filter 1 to a bandpass type, bandpass 24, and we can change the cutoff to 81 and resonance to 50. And we can do this with filter 2 just quite equally. We can change it to the bandpass type, we can change the cutoff to 73, and we can change the resonance to, let's say, 45, something around that. So this is already more similar to a choir sound, but you have still this cheesy character of the wavetable. To get a slight stereo effect, you can change the panorama of filter 1 to left 20 and the panorama of filter 2 to right 20. Of course, a choir sound should have a slow attack and slow release, so let's change the amp envelope to 60 in the attack phase and 80 in the release phase. But this sound is a bit too static, so let's add a bit vibrato. Normally you would do the vibrato with LFO1. In our case we used LFO1 for a different purpose, so let's change LFO2 to the speed of 50 and let's assign it in the modulation matrix to the overall pitch. This is already very similar to the final result. Let's use some modulation to add more possibilities of playing the sound with the aftertouch. So let's use modulation slot 2 with the pressure to change the frequency of filter 2 and filter 1. So let's say plus 35 for filter 1 and pressure also modulating the frequency of filter 2 with, let's say, 41. And now we can change the formant character of the sound with our aftertouch. Actually, you should play around with the frequencies of the filters and of the modulations in order to get a setting which is perfect for you. Maybe you want to use other vocals, then you need other frequencies, of course. This is already quite nice, I think, but maybe you remember that we prepared the noise oscillator. The noise can be important to add a natural character to the choir. When people are singing, they are also breathing, causing the voice to have a slightly noisy character. So we can use the modulation wheel to add a bit noise to the sound. And we can finalize the sound with some effects. Of course, in effect slot 1 you should use the choir effect or the chorus. This is a bit too fast, so let's change the speed to 15 and the depth to 60. And I think a reverb would also fit quite good to the sound. So let's add a reverb in effect slot 2. And let's change the settings slightly to high pass 5, low pass 50, diffusion to the maximum, size to the maximum, shape to 0. Decay can remain on 100 and damping also to 100. And that's the final sound. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. If so, leave a like, make a comment to share your thoughts with us. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell if you want to get my next videos. If you want to have an empty sheet for your own Blofeld patches, check out the link in the video description. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.